everyone, it's Summer, and today we're going to talk about temp guns, an essential reptile tool that I think every keeper needs if you don't already have one, and this new model that Inkbird has just released of their Inkbird Plus infrared thermometer. Reptiles rely on the external environment to regulate their internal body temperature, which means that as reptile keepers, we have to make sure that we're providing the proper temperature ranges within their enclosure so they can properly metabolize and live happy, healthy lives. There are quite a number of ways that we go about measuring the temperatures. You might have seen the analog, like circular stick-on thermometers, or maybe a digital thermometer like the Accurite models that are commonly used in the hobby, or maybe you already own a temperature gun, which measures the infrared radiation emitted by the surfaces of objects to tell you what their surface temperature is. Now, because that's kind of simple, I was a little bit skeptical when Inkbird reached out to me to check out this product because it's a temperature gun. How much different or better can it be than any of the other temperature guns I've used? But it turns out that I've actually been reaching for this quite a lot. I really like it. So let's get into a little bit about this model. This is the Inkbird INK-IFT04. It comes at about a $30 price range, and I mean, for what you're getting, I think it is an awesome value. The build quality is really good. It's made of plastic, so don't get me wrong, we're not gonna be like dropping this from a building and it's gonna live, or like smashing it with a hammer. It's not gonna survive any kind of crazy tests like that. But for our purposes of walking around a reptile room and it holding up over time, I think it would do just fine. In terms of the ease of use, it really couldn't be much simpler. You're pretty much ready to go with this product right out of the box. They provide you with a pair of AAA batteries that it runs off of, and once you put those in, you're ready to start reading temperatures. So on the back of the device, right underneath the LCD screen, there are a few buttons. This one on the right will allow you to change between Celsius and Fahrenheit so that the temperature readout that you're shown is something you can actually understand, and you're not having to go on Google conversions or something to figure out what Celsius is in Fahrenheit. Additionally, over here on the left of the screen, there is a button that will turn on or off a red laser, which, if turned on, will allow you to see exactly the spot that you are measuring with the device. Speaking of spot, the distance to spot ratio of this device is 12:1. So that means that if you are holding the device 12 inches from the surface that you are trying to measure, it's going to be measuring a 1-inch area. If you multiply that out, so if you hold it 2 feet away, it'll be measuring a 2-inch area, and so on and so forth. So that's a great ratio, I think, for our purposes. Rarely do we need to be more than a few feet away from the objects that we're trying to measure. Speaking of temperature readings, this device can measure from -26 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 1,112 degrees Fahrenheit, which hopefully is well beyond the range that you would ever encounter in your reptile enclosures. One of the really neat features about this is that it actually has adjustable emissivity, which will allow for even more accurate readings if you want to be super duper precise. Another great thing about this is the backlit LCD screen. So for a lot of us who might have nocturnal animals, we might be checking temperatures at night, this screen is gonna allow you to easily read the readout without having to strain your eyes too much. So last but not least, I want to cover my favorite feature of this device, which is the different data readout options that it gives. It has a hold function, so if you hold down the trigger and scan over different objects, it will record all of the data that it collected as you were holding the button down. Then you can use this mode button on the front to switch between different data that it's collected. So it'll automatically show you the last temperature that it recorded before you released the trigger. But if you click the button again, it will show you the maximum temperature that it recorded. Then if you click it again, it will show you the minimum temperature. Click it again, it'll show you the average of all of the temperatures that it recorded. One last time, it'll switch to show you the difference in the temperature, so the range that it recorded. It's really useful, and it makes it really easy to kind of get a picture of the environment that you are creating for your reptile. I know that I said that was my favorite feature, and I think it is, but a really close second is this last feature, which is, I think, amazing, is that it has temperature high and low alarms. So you can set, kind of like you would on a thermostat, a temperature threshold, right? Like the high temperature threshold might be, for me, I would say 95. Like I don't really want anything in my cages getting above 95 degrees. And then I'll set the low temperature threshold to be, I don't know, 65 or something like that. So that way, if I'm going in a cage and I'm just scanning, if I hit a temperature that is over 95 degrees, this thing will beep at me and let me know. So I really had a great time trying out those features, and I found it really enlightening and kind of helped me get a better picture overall of my setups in a really easy way. But I do want to clarify that Inkbird isn't really reinventing the wheel here with those features. There are tons of temperature guns already on the market that have been out for years that have all of those same features. They have max, minimum, difference, average data readouts. They have high and low temperature alarms. They have adjustable emissivity. But the difference is that those units are typically at least twice as expensive as this unit. Again, this runs for about 30 bucks. The other thing is that those units are usually kind of heavy and clunky, and also, this is shallow, but not quite as sleek and visually appealing as this, you know? So I really think that if you are looking for a budget-friendly, feature-rich temperature gun that's going to make your reptile keeping easier and more informative, I think this is a great option. And if you're interested in getting one, check out the promo code in the description below. Let me know what you think the most interesting feature that would be of the most use to you in your reptile collection in the comments. And once again, my name is Summer. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.